Suzette on Google My Business. We are welcoming back to the virtual podium our district PRM, Izza Masud, and I will give the introduction that Izza is still an entrepreneur, project manager, author, and marketer who is our district PRM manager, and she is here to help us learn about Google My Business. So please take it away, Izza.
Yay! I'm just doing my own yay. I'll just promote myself. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I hope you guys had a good lunch and you're ready and willing and able to join me for this this session. Now, let me ask by I won't start with sharing slides. Let me ask by show of hands. How many people know what Google My Business is? Raise your hands. All right, well, I know you do, Tanya. All the other folk. Okay, Cindy knows, of course. And who else? Let me see. Anybody? I see Kathleen. Kathleen, I think you should know. We're doing a presentation on it. Awesome. I see Chelsea and I see Chris. Awesome. Awesome. So this is a hidden gem, guys. If you don't know about it, this is something that you should be on if you own a business, if you are part of a Toastmasters club, which I hope all of us are here. But if you're not, join Toastmasters right now. I'm just doing a plug. So Google My Business is something that is actually directly from Google. So let me actually start to show you rather than starting my presentation right away. Okay, I'm going to show you a screen just to give you some context of what I'm talking about. All right, can you guys see my screen? Just somebody shout out.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So folks, every time we Google something, okay, and I've done a shameless Google plug for my Riverside Club, but when you Google yourself or your brand, or when you Google something, Google on this side, as you can see, if you can see my mouse, you will see reviews, okay, and you will see directions and website and information, all of this information. And this can be for anything. Let's do one for, I don't know, any kind of brand, okay? Give me a brand, anybody. I'm losing it right now.
Adidas.
Okay. Ottawa? Okay, I'll do Adidas Outlet. Okay. So technically, well, they have, again, look, this is the Google My Business page for the Adidas Outlet store here in Ottawa. Okay. Now, generally, Google picks something close. So how do we create something of this sort? And why do we want to create it? This is what this workshop is all about. Are you guys with me so far? All right, excellent. All right. So Google My Business is a listing that's offered directly by Google. And in this workshop, we're going to learn what is the listing, the essential information on your listing, optimizing your listing, of course, growing your business. So first of all, I showed you what the context is in terms of what a Google My Business listing looks like. This is a direct feed into Google, the search engine of the planet, to tell them about your products and services that you're offering. So at one point, Google decided with their algorithms and everything, that everything that people need to know about businesses has to be localized. Okay, local information, something that's quick, and it makes sense. If I want to go to a doctor, I don't want to go to a doctor in LA, maybe for face surgery, but not today. But I want to go locally. So they decided, and it became more and more apparent that businesses needed information that was locally available, and then the reputation about it. Like the reputation, is this something that's worthy? If you know, so Google the reviews that you saw on the side, and you can Google anything. If you're not there to Google, you don't really exist. I mean, you have your Facebook page, but having this listing directly in Google is imperative. It's imperative for your brand, it's imperative for your club. It is just super important, and it directly feeds into information to the search engine. So what do you need to create a Google My Business listing? So you need a Gmail account in your business's name. So if you don't have a Gmail account, it would be great if you created one just for your business. And if you don't have one for your Toastmasters Club, it would be great if you created a Gmail account for your Toastmasters Club. Gmail is free. This listing is completely free. Okay, this is a free listing, free information that you're feeding it. It is just as, or perhaps even more important than Facebook. Okay. Again, we were talking about why it's important. It's visibility, it's free, and you can see that depending on your geographic location, it offers users the closest listing possible. If your club does not have one, I suggest right after this presentation, you go create one for yourself. Okay. So the listing provides important information. It provides, of course, the directions. If you don't have a physical location, and if you are just located online, it still has an option to do that. It provides contact information, and you saw the reviews. Reviews are 100% important for any business brand. It gives people the fuzzy wuzzies, the warmth that this business is a reputable business. Photos and more. So the more information you put in this listing about your business, the better. And increasingly, you will start to build and come up higher and higher in your search engine, in the Google search engine, depending on how responsive you are on this. And we'll go through that. So, okay. So 97, well, again, we're talking about consumers read online reviews. Online reviews are imperative for any business right now. This is how we refer. These are the stories that people talk about. Remember in the plenary, I talked about how if somebody's angry, they're going to write a letter right there. And they're going to say, I hate these guys, by the way, they suck. So it's good to Google yourself, Google your brand, make sure that you don't have any bad reviews, because sometimes, believe it or not, there's a reputation about you already out there. So good to always Google yourself. Responding to reviews is very important and key when Google, the way it weighs you in the search engine, meaning that when you do a search, Google brings up results, and the more responsive and the more current you are, Google will bring your search up and up because Google wants the most current information, the freshest information that you put 2 seconds ago. Google wants that information, maybe a day old, but the idea is to keep it fresh. All right. Essential information, of course, of any business, contact info. Now, guess what? Where does my club get most of its calls from? Google My Business. So we have, and you guys will now, if you can search it, we have a phone number there that somebody can call and call, for example, Riverside Toastmasters and say and ask questions directly. So people call me all the time asking about Toastmasters. That is probably the biggest draw and the biggest pull, and we get a lot of people coming from Google right there and then. So local people call us all the time looking for a club. And you know what? I get people coming into the club from other places because they do not have a phone number, they do not have current information, and nobody wants the trouble to email somebody and then wait 2 days to get a response. Everybody wants information right there and then. So contact information, very important. Business category, very important. Make sure all the information is consistent and complete. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen for 1 second. And I'm going to show you where it is. Hold on. Okay. So I'll go live for a little bit and then we can come back to this. So what slide is 9? Okay. So are you guys with me so far? Everybody? I don't see many people. Yes. All right, Michael, if you're with me, we're good.
I had a quick question.
Yes.
Once you have the Gmail account, how do you get the Google listing again?
Aha. That's a good question and a great segue into exactly what I'm about to show you. All right. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again, folks. Can everybody see my screen? Yes?
Yeah.
Michael, can you see it? Okay. So I'm sharing. So traditionally, when you log into your Gmail, okay, you see your face. I have a very nice picture, probably a lot older than I was. But beside that, you see the Google apps. So if you have a Gmail account, you're logged into your Gmail account on Chrome, on Google, and you see a whole bunch of apps. It's where you can go into your Gmail, your contacts, your Drive, all of that. And guess what? It's something called My Business. Okay, so you will find how to get into Google My Business through here. Okay, that blue thing, and then you click on it and away we go. So conveniently, I have Riverside Toastmasters on here, and we will go through this listing in a little bit. But that is the first way how you get into Google My Business. So you create a listing. Okay. Now I want to see if I want to. Okay. So I'm still sharing this. You can Google something. Well, you can actually directly Google My Business. It's my phone talking. I guess it heard about itself on there. But you can directly Google it as well. So you can Google My Business, and it's going to, if you don't have a listing, it's going to show you. That's how you start. One important.
Sorry, do you want to ask you a question?
Sure.
Do we need to having a business account or not? That's my.
No. No. To create a listing?
No, for the club, because for my club, I
Mhm.
created a Google account already for my club. But then the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm just wondering, do we need to having a business account? Because the two options when you set up the Google, one is personal account, another is business account.
And how did you set up your
I set up personal account instead. This
so
account.
what is the Gmail directly? It belongs to the club?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then it still doesn't matter. It
Okay.
will still let you create a Google My Business account.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, because some businesses, remember, are personal businesses. Some people just use their name as a business name. So to create a listing, the first thing is Gmail. Okay, and you can create a business in that. All right. I'm going to stop sharing again, and I'm going to see your faces if everybody's with me. So is everybody with me so far? Am I going too fast? We're good? All right.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to start my slides again. This is a work in progress, guys. This is the first time we're doing this. And last time I found that it took a while. And I was, by time, was difficult. So,
Sorry, is that someone just posted a question? What if you have a Google account, but your business, sorry, I just lost the question. Um, what if it is not there and you have a business account? So I believe they have a Gmail business account.
uh-huh.
And actually, Elizabeth, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question better than I'm doing,
You know what? Thanks very much. She did. You answered it. You actually, like 2 minutes later, you answered it. So I got it. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. So when you create a listing, all of the information that's pertinent is very important. Your phone number, your website, the hours of operation, all of that jazz. So, all right, I want to see if I can actually start a new listing with you guys. So let me start. I was going to do the demo later, but I'm finding that since nobody has really any context, it would be good to start a listing. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again and bear with me.
But I have a question. I thought so. If we cannot find it actually in the business, we are trying to check it on the Google account.
Just Google My Business.
So we
This
have
is
to.
where you should land.
Okay.
Okay, business.google.com.
Okay.
And this is where you're going to land.
Thank you.
Okay, and this is the screen you're going to see. So find and manage your business. Okay, so I'm going to say Izza's dog treats. And what does it say? It says, well, we don't know you. And Izza's dog treats doesn't exist yet. So by continuing to agree, so their terms and conditions, and we've started a new business called Izza's Dog Treats. So you can do that the same way with your listing, whatever, your business, your Toastmasters Club, anything you're trying to add onto. I'll press next. So we have to choose the category. It's very intuitive. It's actually quite friendly. And here we're going to say dog, and it brings up all sorts of categories, right? It's I should call it a hot dog restaurant. He says dog treats, but we could pick any one of these, right? So, do I want to be a hot dog stand? No. Um, let's say I'm a trainer. Okay. So basically, you're here. You're choosing the category that best fits your business. Is everybody with me so far? Okay, Michael, your job is to look at hands and nods, okay? Because I can't see everybody.
Okay.
Are people with
Izza?
us? Yes.
Yes, I have a question for the
Certainly.
category. Mine is I'm a sales strategist.
Okay.
I have a hard time finding something similar on different. It was the same thing on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So what do
So
you
what's a
suggest?
strategist? That's a very interesting category. What does that mean?
Well, sales consultant. So
Consultant.
I help people increase their sales with customized sales strategies.
Okay, so the thing is, we have to come up with something fairly close.
Okay.
So let's say you don't find a category that's out there, and you are very niche, and you're building something brand new, and it's a new thing, but people need a reference. So in order for them to compare something, I know it would not be exactly the same, but you have to get something closer. So imagine you are a completely new fruit, you are still a fruit. So people need a bit of context around, even though you could be doing something completely unique. And that uniqueness can come through your messaging. Okay. So don't worry about finding a new category, building a new right away. Uh, find something that is very, very close to what you are. And as soon as you start your messaging, you can clarify and filter out exactly what you are if the category does not exist.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
All right. So in order for us to, the way Google thinks is that, okay, you have a business. I need to find you on the map, and I need you to tell me if you're a physical location or you're just an online type of shop. And there it will decide who the relevant people are around. When somebody does a Google search in Barhaven, which is where close to I live, and my business is in Barhaven, it will give the locals my business name first. And it's trying to do that so that people get relevant information. And even though you could be an international business, it will still provide local information. Okay. So are you, customers are looking for a business when this location will show up on Google Maps and search when, okay. All right. So traditionally, clubs have been and do usually have a physical location. Okay. If you don't, I believe you still have an option here of being online. Okay, I will just use some old information I have from my old address. And Ontario. So Google here, if you have a physical location, in order for them to ensure that you're not some kind of a fraudulent person out there and you're just coming up with stuff, they send you a postcard to your physical location with a code that will allow for them to verify your physical address. Okay, so for all the clubs that are in the community right now, we can try to be in a online environment or an online business. You can still have a Google listing, but it will say that it's not verified. Okay, you can still have a listing. And let's say if I did this, and if I said I don't have a location, you can still have an option where you serve your customers. Do you see? So it can differentiate if it's sort of that you're online, but you're in England, for example, or if you're in Ottawa, but it will, and you can change it and add more later. Okay, so it tries to differentiate where you serve your customers. Is everybody with me so far? Am I going so fast for you guys? Too fast? Anyone?
No,
Oh,
good for
we're
me.
good.
It's good.
Okay,
It's good. It's great, Izza.
perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's say our customers were in Ottawa. Okay, and if I took that route, it will say my customers are only in Ottawa because I do special Ottawa treats for Ottawa dogs only, it turns out. So then it will ask you, what kind of details do you want there? Do you want a phone number? Do you have a current website? And if you don't need a website, you can specify, I don't need a website. If you have a website, you can add your URL. And if you want to build one, guess what? Google offers you an option. It says, well, you know what? We have the means. You can create your website right here. Okay, so let me not give phone numbers that don't belong to me. So let's say I give that a contact phone number. And guess what? I get to manage the listing. And we are finishing. So even though your business might not have a physical listing, okay? It still wants to verify you that you are not some scam business out there. And here you can always, this is something hidden from the public. You can use your own address to verify. So basically it wants the onus somewhere. Somebody has to take the onus and say that these services are verified, whatever you're offering is verified. So it wants somebody to own that. Just like Facebook wants you to have, the account owner has to own the listing. Similarly, Google wants the same thing. Are there any questions thus far, Michael?
One question that had come up was that someone noted that there was no leadership development or communication in the category for business. So there was a question about what category would we put for our Toastmasters club.
Well, that's a great question. You could do coaching, so there must be lots and lots of different. So as I said before, you have to find something very close, and then the messaging will allow it to be filtered out, right? Filtered out, and you can develop in your messaging what type of service you really are.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So here you can verify, and the address is hidden. So Google wants you, and I can say verify later. Okay. So there, folks, we have created a new listing. Now it's offering me other suggestions. It's like, do you have these services as well? And look, it has a category called add custom service, right? Don't see a service you offer, create your own. Okay, so I hope that answers some of the category questions, because it lets you customize a little bit.
And is there another question that's coming up? Is in terms of location, how we would let people know that the business is online.
So
And the other one was that if you're a home-based business, would you recommend putting how would you handle location if you're home-based?
yes, I would use my home address if I'm a home-based business, because if you're looking for local customers, you do want to tell them where it is. Being home-based doesn't mean that you have terrible quality. It just shows that you are more niche and more expensive than the rest. You always have to market it the right way. So if you know, similarly in terms of when you have a business that you know the government knows about, it has an address there, right? So uh, you need to add that in, especially if you're looking for local services. Now the way we've done it this way right now here is that this service that we created does not have a physical location. Remember, I went back. It does not have a physical location. The only reason it's asking me for an address is for it to be able to verify that this is a legit service. Okay.
Okay. And I think, because I think Cindy had just clarified the question. I think the concern for home-based business was more so from a safety perspective. Like you don't necessarily want people showing up at your house if
Yes,
you're
and
home-based.
so then if it's an online business, right? So you could categorically make your business online only,
Okay.
and do it that way. It just depends on what your business is. So if you're just offering a service online, if you're, even if you're baking cookies or you know any physical product, you could still have it categorically set up like this so that it is only online and you don't have your your listing. But let's say if you were a massage therapist, right, and you're doing servicing locally, right, it would be helpful even if you were home based to have your physical address there if you're working out of home. So you know, it depends on what you guys want to do. Everybody with me so far?
Mhm. Izza, I
Okay,
have a question.
sure.
Um, so is it fair to assume that most Toastmaster clubs remain unverified since, my club meets in a government building. So
Right.
even if I wanted to be verified, the little card you're referring to would go to that address. And
So,
so I can't verify that.
no, Claude. So this is what I'm trying to emphasize. So let's say you're in a club, in a location where you cannot be verified. Okay.
Mhm.
In a where you then you can choose the option of having it online and then provide more information on there. But yes, it's that question is very tricky,
Mhm.
um, especially if you're looking for local information, right? If you're looking for local people to come to your club, it's always tricky. But I would just verify it online at least, because um, a verified business Google My Business listing has more weight.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
in how it's dealt
That
with.
was my next question. Yeah, and you just covered it. So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, all right, so we're doing well. Okay, so it's we're doing it cat business. No, I don't. I just deal with dogs. Okay, that's me. And I save. All right, and then it goes into the nitty gritty. It asks me about opening hours and asks me about all sorts of information. And am I closed on Monday? It wants to know when I'm open to the public, because it's trying to give fresh information to consumers who are looking for this type of service. Okay, so I'm gonna skip it. Okay, maybe I'm just open on Thursdays. How about that? That's it. I'm a very weird niche business. So I will save it. Oh, and it wants me to have hours. And it's using the 24-hour clock. And I'm open only because I'm doing my government job, and I am only open for half an hour. Okay. It's because I'm very, very niche. It's very hard to get my treats. Okay. So let customers message your business on Google for free. And you should be accepting messages because somebody looking for your service should be able to find you and should be able to contact you, especially if you're going to promote. So, you know, so I'm going to say accept messages. And again, let customers find more about your business. I will say I'm a niche dog treat maker, very exclusive. But I would suggest that you fill it out properly, and they give you examples, and you can always press the learn more and get more information there. And so is everybody with me so far?
Is it everyone's with you? But two things. A, you have 20 minutes left,
Okay.
just as an FYI. And B, there was a question. If we say that, so if we're a home-based business, we do our
Mhm.
business online, we say we're online, how
Mhm.
does Google know to show the business to locals in Ottawa?
So if you saw there, you will see that it will ask you the areas you service.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. So here you
In
add
this
more.
time, while you have the time.
Pardon?
So I think that was just someone didn't realize they were on mute.
Okay. So adding photos. So adding photos is very important. It shows even if you were doing something online, you could use some stock photography, something that shows people what you do, right? If you're doing something niche, if you're doing, and for clubs, we have amazing resources at Toastmasters International. If you don't have photos of your own club, we put photos on of Zoom meetings here. So, okay. So I'm just gonna skip it for right now. So you can add photos. And it's also giving me $100 to claim my listing and saying you can get free advertising, but on if you I think it's usually 1 for 1. If you spend 100, they will give you 100 to start and give you Google ads. So I'm going to skip that for right now. And look, my business profile is almost ready. And I continue making updates. And voila, we have just created a Google My Business listing for Izza's dog treats. So, and it's asking me, was it easy, difficult? You guys will be the judge as you follow through. But here, what's important to understand. So look on this side. You have home and you have an area where you have posts. These posts that you're creating for Facebook are equally important to be added here. So let's say you're creating a post. You have to ensure that you're adding it on Google as well, because it shows, create my first post, right? So it shows that you are fresh, that you are, that Google has the latest information on you, your products, your services, your posting. And again, anything current gets rated and weighted higher in Google's eyes than anything else. Okay. So this area is more information on your listing. It has to do with your hours, your phone number, the service areas. So you remember the question, Michael, that we had, that's how do they know? So
Right?
this is where, yeah, you can add it here. Okay. And
I'm sorry, Izza, what does verify your business mean?
okay, so again, as we were talking about it, if you, Google needs to verify who you are, because they have to differentiate between scammers and a legitimate business or service. Okay, even though you might not have a physical location, Google needs to verify and have, ensure that there's somebody out there who's responsible for this content, for this listing. So in order to verify that, either they send it to your physical location. If I'd put a physical location here of my business, they will send it to my business address. Or if you are an online business, the public doesn't need to see who or where this business is, but they will still send it to you. So you can use your personal address, which I do, but they will need an address to verify who you are, because they want to make sure, you're not somebody out there doing something weird. Okay.
Sorry
So
to interrupt. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. I had a quick question. I was following along and went
Yeah.
through everything. And then when I click on the Google Ads, it says your account isn't active. Your ads aren't running because your account has been canceled. What do they mean by that?
Okay, so first of all, you need a Google ad account to create ads.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if you went into the ad section right here, is that where you went?
No, I've got a screen that says Google Ads, all campaigns. And the upper right-hand corner, it has me with my email address and Google account.
Yeah, so the ad part of it, as in the paid part of it, needs an ad account. So create an ad account. You can go through it, the verification process. That is if you plan to spend money. Okay.
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 Because it has a button in the upper right-hand corner, a red button that says reactivate.
So at some point, somebody decided to have Google Ads in your account. So that could be struggling from something else. So yeah, we could take that offline, or you could, but that has to do with paid service,
Okay.
not this.
But it hasn't canceled my Gmail account, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
So,
Okay.
says,
No, it
so when
hasn't.
your account isn't active, that means my ad account isn't active.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, good.
Okay. So Google offers you insights on your business. That means I'm going to change this. So traditionally here, it will tell me how many people searched for me, what my reviews were. So remember the reviews that we saw on any business on the side? It goes through that. It offers you messages, and it offers you an area. If you have physical products, you can put physical products. If you have services, you can put your services, your website, including users, which means that if it's your club, then you could add more than yourself, and somebody else can also man this account, right? Man this account. So if you have multiple people, I would suggest at least 3 people. Then if somebody's not available, the third person can, a second or third person can answer messages or, answer to reviews and so on.
Izza, I have a question about reviews since we're on the topic.
Yes.
You mentioned something about responding to reviews is a
Yes.
very, very important part of what we do.
Yes.
Now, how does one do that? That's my first question. The second question, do you have to respond to each and every single review that a person writes? Really? What do you write? What do you have to say? Like, thank you?
So yes, if it's a good review, there's no problem. You can thank somebody. But if it's a bad review, you must, and I mean that as a business, you have to look like you are responsible, even if it's the, pardon my language, silliest message on the, you must respond to them. And if somebody disgruntled, you tell them, you say things like, I'm sorry, you had a bad experience. Can we do something about it? You must look like that you are actively there to improve your service or product, and that does bring your listing up. So reviews are very important for your business. These are it. This is it. This is what people look at to come to your service. This will differentiate you from the next person. Do you understand? there are people out there that have bad reviews and they don't care. And that's what Google thinks. They're like, you don't care about your business or your service. So you must respond. If it's a positive review, thank you very much for your feedback. We love it. And share more photos. Get people to engage. People like to be recognized if they review something. And if it's not so good, then you must still answer and say how you move forward with that. You know, that's a must.
By the way, I did click reactivate your business, and now I got an email saying, complete your information, you're successfully activated.
Hey. All right. Okay, so I wanted to do it live because I think this part is better than the slides, guys. Okay. Now I do have the set of slides. You will have access to the set of slides, but I think doing it live makes it easier. It's very hands-on. And so here, look, I want to add a user. That means that I want somebody else to be able to do it. So Michael, do you have a Gmail account?
I do.
Yeah.
Illumabilities.
There you go.
Okay.
And it knows you. And I'm like, yeah, Michael, you should be a manager on the site. Okay.
Cool.
And it tells you what different roles mean. And then I can invite Michael to Izza's dog treats. And there we go. He's invited, and if he chooses to accept, he will also have access to this listing. Okay. All right. Are you guys with me so far? Is everybody with me?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
doing okay?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit. I'm just going to go through the slides quickly just to see if I missed on something glaringly important. So I'm going to stop sharing this part and just give me 2 seconds. And I will quickly go through the slides. Okay. I have to find it. All right. So, you know, you saw the listing, adding the description, all of this jazz. It goes through different categories. We already went through it. Then you optimize it. You know, optimization is very important. The photos that you add to it, the products, team, it shows Google that there's something out there, right? That you are hard at work. You know, it's not whatever you want to showcase here. I would showcase everything. You can showcase your Toastmasters members here if they're okay with that. I would love that. I would like to see who's there. So, you know, adding videos. So adding videos here, amazing. Why? Because then Google picks it up and goes into YouTube, right? And adding videos directly gives it more access, gives it more weight in the search engine. So again, similarly, how you add videos on Facebook, it has the same way you can upload videos on Google My Business. Products and services that you want to offer. And, you know, things like if you're a restaurant, book now, or a menu, or, you know, call us. Those are different specific actions that somebody can take directly from Google, as opposed to having to go to your website and then going there. So you want this listing because it's right there. It's like nobody even has to go to their website. It's the buttons right there and they can talk to you and call you. Okay. And there's an app. So you can actually control your listing on your device. Okay. You can post stuff from your phone directly. There's a Google My Business app, and you can manage your whole listing from your phone. Add promotional stuff, everything. Important. Get everybody in your club to write a bloody review on Google. Super important. Do it, do it, do it. If they haven't harassed them, go find them. Tell them Google. And how do you write a review? Somebody will ask that question. And the way you write a review is you just Google the service. If this service and listing is live, somebody can leave a review. There's a category at the bottom there, and there's a way for you to leave a review there. So as long as you're not the admin of the account, you have to remember this. You cannot be an admin and write amazing reviews about yourself, right? It doesn't let you do that. You have to be separated from that. So don't use the same Gmail to write your amazing review. Use another Gmail to write an amazing review about yourself. So, okay. So I think we've just covered everything. Really, we went through the questions. We went through everything. I hope this brought some clarity and some value to what a listing is and why you should be using it. Please turn on your cameras. Let me see your faces, and let's see if we're good. Okay, you guys will have access to these slides. No need to worry. But you know, the hands-on thing is, I think, the biggest. The biggest thing is being so hands-on. So merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Thank you for lending your time and learning about this listing.
Thank you, Izza, for an excellent presentation. That
Nice
was
job.
phenomenal. And I know I got some more work to do after the session. And by the way, I love the walkthrough.